let's review when to use the law of sines. So the law of sines is sine of A over A is the sine of B over B, and you could plug in C if you wanted to. When can you use the law of sines? So, and we'll do that one last. So, angle, side, angle works. Angle, angle, side works. Side, angle, side works. And angle, side, side does work if it's possible. Sometimes there's no solution, sometimes there's one solution, sometimes there's two. So let's review how you know. If I had a particular problem, I told you this was, say, 40, and I'm just going to make up numbers. We'll call that A, B, and C. And I told you that this was 8 and this was 6. I could use the law of sines to calculate angle B. Right? So I fill it in, and if I end up with the sine of B equals 1.6, what does that mean? No solution. There's no way for the wall to be 160% of the ladder. So if you end up with something like this, or any case where the sine of B is greater than or equal to 1, then we don't have a triangle and it doesn't work. So that's no solution. What if angle B equals 15 degrees? What does that tell us? Okay. Well, it can. So if this has two solutions, where is the pivot? C is the pivot. And then angle B is going to move closer to angle A. So that's the pivot, in which case angle B is duplicated down here because this length is 6. You know, it rotated, but it didn't change lengths. Well, if angle B is 15, then the other side is also 15, which means the supplementary angle to 15 is 165. Is that possible? No, why not? You can't have a 165 and a 40 in the same triangle. So if your new angle is smaller than your original angle, that pivot doesn't work because you end up creating an obtuse angle, well, an angle too big to add to the other angle. So this means one solution, but if angle B is bigger than 40, say 65, then we change this picture around. So this is 65 and this is 65. 180 minus 65 is 115. So this angle here is 115. You can use that angle and that angle to find angle C, and then you're just missing one side length right there. That's the law of sines. Okay? Now the law of cosines, and there are three formulas for the law of cosines. We'll write down one of them, and then you can adapt them as needed. So the law of cosines is c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus, not 4, oops, minus 2ab cosine of capital C. You can move those letters around as much as you want. If you start with C, you end with C, and then the A and the B show up twice. If you start with A, you end up with A, and the B and the C would show up twice. When does the law of cosines work? You have two choices, side angle side or side side side. Now, technically we could do angle side side also. But it's a lot more work to do angle side side with the law of cosine, so we just don't do it at all. So we're going to erase this. It's easier to use the law of sines. Okay? Are there times when you have to use the law of cosines? Side, side, side. The only way to solve the angles of a side, side, side triangle is to use the law of cosines. Side angle side, you kind of have your pick. whether you want to use the law of cosines or the law of sines. So on this worksheet today, I've done you a huge favor to save you some time. So if you look at problem number 1, it says, if you want to find angle x, do I want to use the law of sines or the law of cosines? Well, I have an angle that matches a side and an unknown angle that matches a side, so the easiest way would be law of sines. Now, if you'll notice, it's angle, side, side. So I could use the law of cosines, but the law of cosines would not give me angle x. What would the law of cosines tell me? It would tell me the other side. And then I'd have to do law of cosines again to find angle x. So you could use the law of cosines, but this asks for the best choice. So a lot of these problems can be done in 1 step or in 2 steps. And it says, tell me the 1 step. So if we set this up, the sine of 112 over 25 is equal to the sine of x. Oh, I did it wrong. No, I didn't. Over 12. Don't solve. Set up the formula and stop. Okay? So if we look at number 2, state whether the law of sines or law of cosines is the best choice. Well, I have side, angle, side. So do I want to use law of cosines or law of sines? Why cosines? Well, yeah, you're right. Yes, I agree. It's not the answer I was looking for, but I agree. Why is cosines better than sines? Well, if I use the law of sines on an SAS, what am I going to get out? If I have 2 sides and an angle, and I use the law of sines, what form will my answer be? It'll be an angle, because the law of sines uses 2 angles and 2 sides. So if I were to use the law of sines here, I would end up with an angle. And once I knew that angle, then I could use the law of sines again to find the side. What does the law of cosines use? Well, it has 3 sides and 1 angle. So if I use the law of cosines on an SAS, what am I going to get out? The other side, and that's what I'm looking for. So the law of cosines is the best choice. The law of sines would work, but it would take 2 formulas. So you'll plug that information into the formula, and then you're done. And turn the page. That's going to take you all the way through number 10, I believe. And then 11 through 16, it wants you to set it up and solve. Okay? And then on section 4, the challenge problems. First one's actually really easy. They've kind of drawn the picture a little funny, so let me clarify it. This 25 is the length right there. And I'm looking for angle A. How would I find angle A? Well, I have, right, I can use the supplement of 118, which is 72. 62, thank you. And now I have angle side side, so I would use the law of sines, keeping in mind that I might have 0, 1, or 2 solutions. So A could actually be 2 different angles, or 1 angle, or not at all. It depends. Okay? And then let's look at next one. What am I solving for? DGE? DGF? What does that say? DGF. So I want to find the measure of this angle. How would I do that? So in the top triangle, I actually have angle side side. Well, I already know this cannot have two solutions. How come? Without solving anything, I know it can't have two solutions. Why is that? Well, my given angle is 120 degrees. Can my new angle be bigger than 120? No, then I'd break the triangle angle sum rule. So I know it's either no solution or one solution. So that's kind of nice. So I could use the law of sines to find this angle. And if it exists, there's only one choice. And then I could do the supplement rule to find DGF. All right, any questions? Yes. So it's this problem. Oh, wait a minute. Is it on the next page? Yeah. Sorry, 19, the picture is on the next page. That's it. Good luck.